Good morning, beloveds. I have a cat awkwardly perched on my thigh. So if at any point I make a strange noise or a strange motion, it's because he's moved. Let's see if I can... Yep, nope. Okay. I now have him kind of perched between the two. It's like, sit on the actual lap, not just hover across one thigh. There we go. Oh, and now you can see him. Cat. Who knew? All right. I got work to do. You don't care, do you? Nope. He sat with me all day Friday night in the Philosophy Friday Zoom, and they were just amused at the size of him, and I'm just like, yeah, that's because he's sitting really close to the camera, because he was between me and the camera. All right, it is July 2nd. Our title is Where is God? Our author is Nona L. Brooks, and this is Short Lessons in Divine Science from 1940. If you don't know who Nona L. Brooks is, she's one of the founders of Divine Science. All right, so again, July 2nd, where is God? Purpose: to make universality and its immediacy still more vivid to the student, and to show the truth wherever found is one. All right. All flesh shall come to worship before me, saith the Lord. Isaiah 66:23. And they shall not teach every person their neighbor and every person their siblings, saying, know the Lord, for it shall know me, or for they shall know me from the least to the greatest, and that is Hebrews 8:11. Schiller says there are three words that I would write in tracings of eternal light upon the hearts of people, and the three words are faith, hope, and love, the same that Paul chose for his wonderful disclosure. There is one word that I would write upon the hearts of people: omnipresence. Omnipresence. Repeat it to yourself. Say it often. Get the fullness of its meaning. It can never grow old. It can never become threadbare. It can never wear out. I prefer it to faith, hope, and love because it is greater than these. Omnipresence is beyond hope. It is fulfillment. It is greater than either faith or love because it includes these and more within itself. Omnipresence, the all-presence, the presence that is always present. This presence is around us right now, and it is in us. It is around, through, and in all. It fills heaven and earth. Omnipresence. Okay, so 100 years ago, it may have even been before I entered ministerial school, but I doubt it. It was probably, I don't know. I did a title. I did a talk about, and it was called, I think the title of it was Finding Dorothy. And that's what it was. What brought me to Science of Mind was one of my teachers. Okay. Now, I don't know. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I came to Science of Mind from the psychic community. I found this cute shop in Old Town Springs, and I loved all of the people. And I took all of the classes. I took the tarot class, and I took tarot classes and astrology classes, and I did tea leaf reading and palm reading and all of those classes. There was even a class called Psychic Immersion. Now, most of these classes were taught by a woman named Patricia Ricard. She became a very dear friend of mine, and she made her transition recently. And so I just kept taking all of these classes because I was looking for something, but I didn't know what I was looking for. One day around Christmas, and this would have been around 2004. It was Christmas of 2004. I was standing in the shop, And in the dramatic way that I have of doing, I stomped my foot and I said, I need to find God. Because in the psychic community, we know, we acknowledge God and we talk about God, but there's no emphasis on God, okay? We talk about where our gifts come from, that kind of stuff. And I was like, I have got to find God. And she looked at me and she said, I know this place you can go. And I said, okay. And it took 3 weeks. So by the time I get myself organized, we're in January of 2005 now. And we've looked it up. We know where this place is. We make the decision. Okay, we're going to go. We're going to go this day. So we showed up at Creative Life, and she happened to be there, and we ran into her outside. Because, we don't know anything. You know how awkward it is to show up at a church and you don't know anybody and you're just trying it out, but she was there. And so we came in and we sat with her, and I tell the story because I looked up and the senior minister, and I was like, he looks like George Carlin. And then somewhere in the service, he quoted George Carlin, and I went, and they happened to have a new member meeting after that. So, we trooped next door and we went upstairs, and they had, snacks and drinks and, what have you. And we talked to a few people. And that's when I met Reverend Ed, and Reverend Ed had a basin ring on. And I just kind of went, what? And he says, you don't have to give up anything to belong here. You don't have to give up anything to join one, Creative Life, or two, Science of Mind. And I went, I'm sold. So I signed up that day. It took my husband about 10 years. So that's just a funny story there. But that's what it was. It's like, I have to find God. And the answer to the question is, because, you tell the story, okay, this is how I get to Science of Mind. Well, then the question is, did you find God? Well, yeah. Just like Dorothy. At the very end of The Wizard of Oz, she says, if I can't find it in my own backyard, then I never lost it to begin with. And that's the answer. I never lost it. I didn't have to find God. What I had to do was I had to come to awareness of God. And that's what each one of us has to do. We live our lives, and we're taught from an early that God is outside of us. God is, up in heaven, or God is out there. And the truth is that no, just like Dorothy, it's in our own backyard. God is within us. God is all around us, and God is in us. And that's the most important thing. It's like, when we look within, and that's where we want to go, omnipresent, everywhere. God is not limited by space and time. And the truth is we're not limited by space and time. But we choose, we come into this material existence, and we choose to limit this part of ourselves for a brief period of time. And sometimes when we come in, we forget. And then we get the joy of rediscovering God. We get the joy of rediscovering the source of our own being. And sometimes we do it in dramatic ways, like I did by stomping my foot and saying, I've got to find God. And sometimes we have that gentle awareness all the time, and it just breaks forth into this, oh, now, does this mean that I walk through the world, calmly, knowing everything's going to be okay, knowing that I am surrounded by God? No, it means I forget, and I forget a lot. But that awareness is always waiting within me to be acknowledged. And so God is within you, waiting to be acknowledged. That's why we say God can only do for us what God can do through us. God is right where you are right now, simply awaiting your awareness, waiting for you to come to the recognition that it's all God. And when you do that, amazing things happen. And they start subtly. And then 10 years later, 15 years later, 20 years later, you look back on your life and you go, wow, I've come a long way. I've come a long way. And you realize that there's nowhere in particular that you have to go, but there's everywhere that you can go. So, I don't think I intended to tell you my origin story, but there you are. I've got to find God. Well, God was there the whole time, just waiting for me to recognize it within myself. All right, Nona. Omnipresent, because it includes faith, hope, and love. I agree with her. I agree with her on that. So, the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to recognize that omnipresence, to look within ourselves, to take that journey within ourselves to the source of our own being, to recognize the wellspring from which we spring, that it is God. And all things are possible in God. So whatever it is that you're holding yourself back from, recognize the omnipresence and get to work. Get to work and know that you have the most awesome and amazing silent partner ever that will absolutely guide you on your journey, provide for you on your journey. And when you are ready to give up this temporary limitation that we have imposed upon ourselves, we'll be waiting to receive you back into the fold. So, God bless you and keep you wherever you are, Patricia Ricard. Because I wouldn't be who I am without that laugh that one day in that shop when you said, I know a place you can go. I know a place you can go. All right, you have your mission today. The next mission, the other part of that I do every day, which is it is a spiritual practice. Self-care is absolutely a spiritual practice. To do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself, whatever that looks like. It is absolutely important that you take care of yourself. When you get on airplanes, the flight attendant says, if the oxygen mask drop, put your oxygen mask on and then help your neighbor. Self-care is extremely important. That is why I mention it every day. And it can be as simple as taking a deep breath before you speak. Before you speak to yourself, before you speak to others. One of the things that sent me into therapy one time was I noticed myself talk and I went, this is not okay. So take that deep breath. Take that moment. Formulate a response instead of having a reaction. That's all it is. The difference between a reaction and a response is that moment of consciousness. That moment of consciousness. So it looks like taking a walk. It looks like taking a nap. It looks like taking a break. It looks like taking a vacation. It looks like saying no. It also looks like saying yes to an experience that you're not sure about. You know, sometimes we have those experiences, we say yes to those things and then they lead us to places we would never expect. So, but I am reminding you about the divine no, because sometimes people want us to do things and it's just not in our best interest. You are allowed to say no. It is part of self-care. I also want to remind you, I say to eat dessert first. And when Ruth passed, it occurred to me that what I meant was don't save the good stuff. Eat the good food. Wear the nice clothes. Don't save the good china. You know, have an ordinary middle of the week dinner and use the good china and the fancy silverware and the nice glasses. Ooh. Ooh. He just stretched and purred. Hold a purring cat. There is no sound. There are two sounds that I love best in the world. cat purrs and baby laughs. So try it. Okay. And I'm just going to get myself off track. Practice omnipresence. Go within yourself to look for God. That is self-care. All right. And I encourage you to do this for multiple reasons. One, you are your own best test subject. That will tell you immediately, is this the most loving, kind, and compassionate thing I can do? Two, I want you to create a habit. I want you to create a first response by ingraining in yourself, no matter what goes on, to respond lovingly, kindly, and compassionately. And three, you are your own best test subject. No, sorry. You deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. Practice on yourself because you deserve it. You're a beloved child of God. All right? Okay. Leaping forward into the rest of the suggestions. Let's see. The suggestion, do something to engage your mind and your body unless today is your day of rest. Today is my day of rest. I slept in and it was wonderful. Please drink plenty of water. It has been really, really hot here. So hydrate. Your brain works better when it's well hydrated. And I would also, as I always do, encourage you to get early in your day bright light. I have not been outside. I have not had that early in my day sunshine yet. This counts too. So, what I'm talking about is 5 minutes of bright light. That will help to reset those hormonal, that hormone cycle, that natural hormone cycle of serotonin, melatonin, and all of that. You'll sleep better during the day. You'll sleep better at night and have more energy during the day. Let me just get it all confused. It's science. You can look it up. What I'm talking about is circadian rhythm. It does start with a C. Okay. And as I always like to say, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us all the time. We were talking about omnipresence today. We were talking about where God is. Well, where is God? All around us all the time, which means we live in heaven. Okay? It's all God, which means that heaven is a mindset. It is a state of consciousness. And once you learn to create it for yourself, nobody can take it away from you. Okay? Once you learn where God is, nobody can take that away from you. There is no gatekeeping on God. They can teach us that God is outside of us, but we will discover the truth. So, learn. Open the windows of your soul. How do you do that? By listening to amazing music, by reading sacred literature, by reading teachers who have made the discovery for themselves about where God is, and trying some of their suggestions. Read sacred literature. Read all sacred literature. Don't limit yourself to just one faith community. Ask questions. And do things like Philosophy Friday, where you get a group of people together and talk about things like that. It's great. It's fantastic. It's amazing. And take Emma's advice. Look for the good and praise it. All right. Okay. Whew. All right. I guess I'll jump into the social media part. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. So please feel free to check them out. They're all good and wonderful, and we try and post light stuff, funny stuff, amazing stuff, heartfelt stuff that'll help you figure out where God is. They help you on that journey within yourself to the source of your own being. All right. And if you want to know what's going on with the center, please email info@creativelife.org. That'll get you on the constant contact. The constant contact the hot links are hot. If it says click here now, it'll take you right to the information you want or to the person that can help you get it. So if you click there's a soul session playlist. You can click on that. It'll take you right to the YouTube channel. And the YouTube channel, both of the YouTube channels are organized in playlists. So mine are done by month on the Running Rev Ryan. So you can hit month and year, and then that way, whatever month it is that you want in whichever book you want, because there's 3 books up there now. you can do that. And then I've got a couple others like meditations and Sunday talks that I've done. That's on there. On the Creative Life, they're organized again by month for the Sunday services, and then each speaker has their own. So outside of Reverend Jesse, because it's all Reverend Jesse. So there is, and we do have a little Spanish language content up there. So, if you want to hear the inner healing in Spanish, we've got that. But like Reverend David has his own playlist. The Soul Sessions have their own playlist. I read you this thing called You, so that has a place. So feel free to, get in there. There's all that content, and then you can use it as often, listen to it as often as you like, and share it. Please feel free to share it. Okay. I guess I'm at the part where I get to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonder-filled day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a omnipresent day, a faith day, a love day, a hope day, a recognize it's all in one day, a take care of yourself day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You're a beloved child of God. You are a brilliant light, a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. You are, as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, a godlike, in whom God is well pleased and well represented, always. That is the truth of your being. Know who you are. All right? That's what today is about. Yes, the title was Where is God? But it's about getting to know who you are and recognizing that the source of your being is God. All right? Okay. It is where we come from. It is who we go back to. So, and who we never truly leave. Okay. And onward. So Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you at around 9 a.m. tomorrow. But more importantly, we do have a service for you at 11 right here on Facebook Live. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be there too. Just check different playlists. All right. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.